Well, was that the most stacked Monday Night Raw, throw everything against the wall episode that I have seen in a long, long time? Hey guys, welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, episode number 64, like Nintendo 64. And we've got a stack show for you guys today. We are going to talk about Monday Night Raw, which came to you guys live from November the 17th in the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. And WWE really, I think they listened to what everybody was saying and they pulled out all of the stops to really make this the most action-packed, star-packed Monday Night Raw that we've seen since probably prior to WrestleMania. So let's break it all down. As always, I am Mike with the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, joined by Mr. Sean O'Neill. And I guess I don't even really know where to start, but I guess just going through the show kind of in the order that it happened probably would be probably the best way to go about it. So the whole purpose of the show initially was really done up to be, John Cena's last time on Monday Night Raw. And that was really kind of like the main focal point of the show, right? Like John Cena is going to have his final appearance on Monday Night Raw, and we're going to kind of see what sort of the overall plan is. We're going to continue that tournament. What's going to go on with him and Dominik Mysterio, and kind of his sort of farewell to TV, right? So Cena comes out and doesn't really get an opportunity to deliver much of a promo before he is interrupted by Dominik Mysterio, who to no one's surprise challenges him to a rematch for that Intercontinental Championship at the Series show in San Diego, which that's fine. Like that's totally fine. But it did lead to a fun six-man tag where the Judgment Day went up against Mysterio, Sheamus, and John Cena, Rey Mysterio. And it was a fun match, kind of a callback to all of the classics. All of them did five knuckle shuffle, so like a 15 knuckle shuffle. And then they did the beats of the Bowery, and each one of them did that. And they attempted to do a 619, like a double 619. So the whole thing was just fun, like it was just a fun TV match. And obviously the faces picked up the win to no one's surprise here, but I don't hate this, and I think it was fine that they did this. It was just a nice little thing for the crowd, I guess, but I maybe would have liked something different here instead, but I'm fine with the way they did this, I guess.
For a final televised match for Cena on regular TV, I think I'm okay with it. Um, Nothing too over the top to risk him injuring himself for these last two appearances. Plus, we got to see Rey Mysterio finally back in action.
Mhm.
And for a guy who's about 600 years old, he looked pretty good in the ring. Um, I have a feeling that we're going to see more out of him and Dom as the days go on, headed towards Mania, because I think that's going to be his final match. Um, I was thinking about it, and with Cena just about done, do you think that they induct him into the Hall of Fame this year?
Yes,
Yeah. Do you think he's the headliner?
100%. 100%. Mhm.
Okay. Just with this being the year of Cena, and now that we are just about to the end, I feel like that's going to be like the announcement on his final match night is that, oh, John Cena's going to the Hall of Fame. And I think it's worth it. He showed he can still go. These six-man tag matches are basically there when it's randomly thrown together people like this, just for the fun of it. I mean, you have the interaction between three guys, Mysterio, Sheamus, and Cena, who have known each other as long as they have, and the fun of getting to see three five knuckle shovels was pretty fun. Um, and I think, like you said, it was kind of a nothing burger match, but it was fun.
Mhm. Yeah, I completely agree. It was fine. I enjoyed it, and it did what it needed to do. It was fine. It set up the Survivor Series match, and I just, like you said, fairly low stakes, fairly easy way to handle Cena's final match on Raw, and it just helped continue that story when it allowed the crowd to have some fun moments, because that's what they wanted to see. They wanted to see him wrestle, and they gave the crowd a nice little send off, I think, for Cena. So moving along on the show, we had a couple of we had a couple of really interesting things that happened and a couple of kind of like whatever things that happened. So we'll just go in loose order as to like how these things came to be. So Stephanie Vaquer was going to address the crowd, but obviously didn't make it to the ring as she was attacked by Nikki Bella, who really offered little explanation as to why she did what she did. Kind of basically was just like, I'm gonna take that title from you, and yeah, I'm sitting on the sidelines long enough as your cheerleader, and I'm not going to do that anymore. And, this obviously set up a match between the two of them at Survivor Series, which I have no doubt Stephanie will win. And I don't really have much more to say about this. Like, it's fine. It's a good first feud for Stephanie, a good, well, second feud, I guess, because technically she started with the Judgment Day, but like it's a good real feud with a good star to sink her teeth into. And they've done this with Nikki a couple of times now, where she's come back and put over a current champion. And I think that that's fine. Like gets her on the show. She's a big star, and we'll see how she does against another woman who's a relatively big star.
It's just a nice, easy filler feud to get past Survivor Series into the actual build up towards the bigger events of the year. And I'm perfectly okay with it. I mean, we more or less predicted that this was going to happen anyway. It's a little bit sooner than I thought it was going to come about, but I mean, might as well get it out of the way now.
Mhm. Yeah. And then we had the first round match of the Last Time Is Now, Never Say Never, Super Scene 17 Real Time Champion, Never Seen, the final match ever of the Real John Cena tournament between Solo Sikoa and a surprising return. And I don't know if he's officially back with the company or if he's still with TNA, but one Ziggler, aka Nick Nemeth, making his surprising return, and he had a fun little match with Solo Sikoa. He pulled out all the stops. He tuned up the band, hit the sweet chin music. It's a solid. It was a fun match. I mean, there was no doubt Solo was going to that Solo wasn't going to win here, which I don't know if that was the right move. But after seeing what they did on SmackDown with Zack Ryder, I kind of was thinking the same thing was likely to happen here as well. But I don't know. How do you feel about the whole thing?
So, first off, one of the big things I'm very happy about is there wasn't interference in the match. Um, I was real afraid that with Solo bringing the big guy out with him, there was going to be some form of shenanigans, and I was real glad to see that didn't happen. And as far as the results of the match, with them not having Zack Ryder advance, I just I feel like one of the two surprise people should have advanced, at least to the second round. And I think Ziggler would have been the better option out of the two, just because he's the better overall wrestler. And I don't think Solo needed a win here. It's another case of somebody getting a win that really didn't need it, especially when you know that they're not going to be advancing.
Yeah, so I mean, it's very likely. So what are we gonna get? We're gonna get Solo and who won last week? Sheamus won last week, and who was the other person who won last week?
It was Rusev.
El yeah, so we'll get probably Solo and Rusev and Sheamus and Gunther, I would imagine, or maybe the other way around. They haven't announced it yet, but it'll be those four, in some respect. But you're right. It's very likely that we're gonna see Gunther and Sheamus again, or we're gonna see Gunther and Rusev. Like that seems to be the way the finals will likely go for the Raw side of things.
Hey, give me Rusev and Gunther. I'm all for that match.
Yeah, and obviously we'll jump ahead here because we're talking about Gunther now. Before we talk about the other things that happened on the show, but then the other match that happened later in the show was Gunther defeating Javon Evans. A couple of things I want to say about this match. First, it was awesome that Gunther had his old music back. I love
Yep.
that. Not that I hated his new music, but I very much enjoyed the old Imperium Gunther music, which was
Yeah.
cool to see. This match, while it was great, pissed me off a lot because there were way too many commercials.
Yep.
Way too many commercials during this match. It did not seem like it got enough time because there was way too many commercials during this match. And I'm really kind of annoyed about the whole commercial situation because of the fact that this is on Netflix. Like
Yep.
there are plenty of opportunities between matches to put commercials on these shows. and or even like between entrances if you need to. Like if you have especially long entrances, like the 12 entrances that occurred during the main event sequence, you have times with which you can put commercials in if you have to. But doing multiple commercials in the middle of a match is not a great way to handle things, especially a match like this. Like this match, what we saw was awesome.
Why am I paying for Netflix without commercials to get commercials?
Mhm.
And it's one thing at the beginning that we had with WWE. If you were paying for it without commercials, like I would see things you didn't because like I would see the entrances. And it pisses me off to no end that Javon Evans really didn't get an entrance. You caught that? Like
No, I
poor
didn't.
poor kid is one of these rising stars that you want to push. And I mean, hell, you're having him in this tournament. You don't even give him his entrance.
Oh, he
Like, I'm
probably got
sorry.
it for the live crowd, but not for the TV crowd.
No, and that's stupid. And then you build into that during the match itself with all the commercials. It completely ruins the flow of the match. Like,
Mhm.
it's one thing to give us like picture in picture commercials where you can still at least see what's going on, but they don't do that.
And they should do that. The picture in picture thing, like if you have to have a commercial, do the picture in picture thing, like at least for the ones in between matches.
Right.
Like, like for the ones that are not like outside of matches, fine, do a full commercial. Inside of matches, do the picture in picture thing. I want to
It
see
just
the full match.
right. Like it breaks up like it sort of takes you out of the match when all of a sudden in the middle of it, it's a commercial. Like
Yeah.
I'm paying to watch these guys fight. I'm not paying to watch Netflix talk about Stranger Things again.
Yeah. Yeah, or the Rock's latest movie.
Right.
It is what it is, though. But the match itself was excellent. I mean, what I got to see of it, but of course it was going to be excellent. It's Gunther, and he's incredible. And after watching this match and after seeing who's left in the tournament, I have no doubt Gunther's winning.
I mean, we thought that anyway, based on everything, like the path this was leading towards, and it pretty much just guarantees it, regardless of who makes it from the SmackDown side.
Well, I
Gunther
mean,
is going to win.
who's it's Jay, it's
LA
LA
Knight,
Knight,
and then
it's
there's still matches to come.
and then there's two matches what are the matches on Friday?
Penta versus someone, and I don't remember the other one.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. None of these people are winning. It's going to be Gunther.
Yep. Honestly, if you give me a finals match of Gunther versus Penta, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, that could be awesome. And they might go that route because they're really high on Penta.
Yep, I would 100% be beyond that. And I think that would be an awesome rub for Penta to say, well, I may not have won, but I made it to the finals.
Yeah, yeah. And then perhaps the biggest surprise of the night, which I loved, I thought it was absolutely awesome. We had a match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship between Maxxine Dupri and Becky Lynch. And Maxxine Dupri is your new Women's Intercontinental Champion. Lynch seemed to have the match in complete control when out of nowhere, when she was going to take the turnbuckle off, AJ Lee's music hit and a returning AJ Lee came in, skipping her way down to ringside, which left an opening for Maxxine Dupri to hit the diving crossbody on a distracted Becky Lynch for the win. And then to which later we did see Rhea Ripley pull AJ Lee aside, seemingly recruiting her to the women's WarGames team. And we'll talk about the segment that happened with that in a minute as well. But so I kind of did quasi call it a little bit. We are getting AJ Lee added to that team, but it looks like we may be getting something additional happening there, which we'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, I thought this was awesome. I mean, this of their three matches, this was probably the weakest one, but it doesn't care because the result was awesome. And I loved it. I'm so happy for Maxine. I don't even care if she holds the title for just a few weeks. I think this was awesome.
You called AJ getting added to the War Games team. I called Maxine winning here. And it's a huge, she may not hold it for long, but that's a huge show of confidence to have her go over Becky Lynch. Like,
Hmm.
I think that honestly, and I think it's actually really funny, but Maxine has won a singles title before Chad Gable did. And she's put the work in, and you can definitely tell that she has not only did she earn this shot against Becky, but she definitely earned this title. So I'm very curious to see what they do with her, if she's just a transitional champ or if they're going to let her run with it for a couple months. I hope they do.
I mean, I think she'll get an opportunity to run with it for a little while, don't you?
I hope so. I don't have a problem with transitional champs, but I only if it's being used to set up a specific story. I'd rather see people get a chance to see if they can actually be a title holder.
No, I mean, I guess that's fair. Um, yeah, I guess we'll just have to kind of see how it goes. I don't really know, I mean, I don't really know what we're gonna do with her. Like, what is she, I don't, because I kind of feel like Becky Lynch is very likely to join to join the women's War Games team. So, and I'll let you talk about that, like what happened with regards to the women's War Game stuff, because we obviously did get, we did get some stuff happening there. So I'll let you break it all down for us.
Well, it started with Alexa Bliss coming to the ring to basically call out Charlotte for leaving her high and dry, and basically that she felt her friendship should be worth more than Charlotte's enmity towards Rhea Ripley, which, I mean, we talked about it on Friday, and I do like that they were actually making it a little bit more questionable what was going to happen with the War Games match. So I do kind of question how they had this segment go down because they had the heel team come out, basically tell Alexa she was dumb for coming out there alone and surround the ring, only for Rhea and Io to come out and the heels to sort of get the advantage until a returning Charlotte came down with a kendo stick and beat everybody off. Which I should probably have rephrased that, but they, I think that they would have been better suited by Charlotte not coming out yet. I think it only being 2 days after, 3 days after she left them in the ring. I don't think that was enough time in between everything happening for the story. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but I feel like you could have let the intrigue like simmer a little bit more, maybe until at least this Friday for SmackDown. I just think they jumped the gun a little bit.
Yeah, with everything else that happened on this show, this didn't need to be on this show. You should have saved this for another show.
Yeah.
Like you should have let this sit for a little while and had all of these women come out, or just have the heel team come out and just cut a promo, right? Like it's really all you needed to do here. Like, yeah, I get it. We're still going to eventually probably get Becky on that team. And you did have them tease something with Bailey in the back where Bailey basically told him to F off, like I'm not joining you. But I don't know. I think this show had too much going on it, and I think honestly this is just going to get lost in the shuffle a little bit.
Yeah, it like you said, this show overall kind of felt like they were just throwing everything out there and they could have saved this just for storyline purposes for another episode.
So then we had that main event sequence, which entrances. There are so many people that say that WWE is all about entrances, and if you watched just this main event segment, you were proven right. Because there were not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, but like nine entrances
Yep.
during this main event sequence. So we did have the Vision come out to the ring, flanked by Logan Paul, to which then Drew McIntyre came out as well with them. Paul Heyman kind of cut a quick, this is Drew McIntyre, this is, Logan Paul, this is Bronson Reed, this is Braun Breaker, and they're gonna kill everybody, right? And then we got CM Punk, who got the first entrance. The Usos then came in through the crowd, and then a wild Cody Rhodes came out as well. And then the four of them made their way to the ring, and they all started brawling in the ring, to which, everything was going fine. And honestly, could have been where they just ended the show like this. But we did get a returning Brock Lesnar who made his way to the ring and dumped CM Punk on his head, dumped Cody Rhodes on his head. And I thought CM Punk was injured when he went down on that first suplex that Lesnar gave him because he landed real funny. And I was like, oh, he landed on that arm. He probably broke his friggin' arm, but he was fine. He did cut a promo after Raw went off the air and he was totally fine. But yeah, it didn't look good initially. So Lesnar and Cody had a moment together as well, but then Cody just went in and started attacking him because Cody was kind of like, dude, what are you doing? Like, because they had it's almost like they were drawing on their history a little bit, which is good that people just don't forget that things happened in the past, like
Yep.
it's not just like we forgot everything that ever happened in the past. So and then all of this led, which again, this could have closed the show, but it didn't, because then we had a returning tribal chief, and the big dog Roman Reigns made his way down to the ring, had a stare off in 2025 with Brock Lesnar, and hit him with the most vicious Superman punch that tossed his ass right out of the ring. And then, the brawling continued, and Roman Reigns speared a police officer and Bronson Reed through Barry the Barricade, and that is kind of how the show went off the air. So a lot to unpack there.
So thinking about it, it's going to be about 45 minutes before the War Games match can even start at Survivor Series by the time
Okay.
everybody's introduced. I mean, the one positive is that the heel team has a tag team that can come out together, and the face team has a tag team that can come out together, or they can come out as the bloodline and save some time so that we don't have as many entrances. But I mean, we all figured that this was the direction they were going and that Paul Heyman was going to recruit Machamp for their team. But one, and we knew that at that point, Roman Reigns would have to be the one to counter Brock Lesnar. I feel bad that that was all the NYPD could offer to help protect our superstars from each other. I feel like they could have gone with a little bit, maybe some SWAT officers, some people who could stand up a little bit better, but
Some goons.
some goons. But I mean, that's I guess that's what we get in this day and age. And I don't know. Like you said, there were a couple points there where they could have ended this, especially considering they have another week before Survivor Series gets here. And I feel like we're just going to get in another brawl next week, and that'll be it. I may have had the heel team stand tall and ended it on Lesnar and have Roman come out on Monday, but that's just me.
So thinking about it, I think I know why they did this. Now that you're saying what you're saying, because you saying that last part that you just said there about how they're just going to have another brawl. No, that is not what they're going to have happen. They are going to have a match
You're right.
somehow,
Yep.
and the match will be to determine the first person to go out. And the same thing is going to happen with the women as well. And the heels will win that because the heels always win that.
Yep.
So,
Maybe not for both of them.
oh no, I think for both of them.
Yeah, you think it'll be heels both ways?
Yeah, because the War Games matches are typically better when heels are beating down
Yeah,
faces
for sure.
throughout the match. Like that's the standard WWE storytelling trope that they do, where the heels come out, and the heels often have the 2-on-1, 3-on-2, 4-on-3, 5-on-4 advantage throughout that match. Like it makes more sense for the heels to do that. So I think
And
that's absolutely going to happen. I guess it just really depends on what we're going to do. I mean, it's very easy to just have Jimmy Uso get pinned by Braun Breaker. So that's probably what will happen.
it makes a lot of sense though on the women's side because with having AJ Lee be the last one out, that the heels are the first ones in.
Yeah. And the same thing probably for the face side as well. I think CM Punk is probably the last one to go out.
Yeah, because you don't want to risk him getting hurt.
Yeah.
You start with probably one of the Usos and then go from there.
Yeah, one
Probably
of the
Probably Jimmy.
yeah. Probably, yeah, Jimmy or Jay, then Cody, then, you know. Yeah, and Brock probably comes out last for the heels.
Yeah, because he's not conditioned enough to make it through a whole War Games
Well,
match.
he is, but you're not going to have him sell a War Games match. You know what I mean?
So
Like,
here's my question for you. Considering the size of most of these guys, who takes the jump off the top of the cage? Is it Logan Paul?
or Bronson Reed if he wants to do it again.
Yeah, except he broke both his feet last time he did it.
Yeah, I mean Logan Paul seems like the most likely here. And to be honest with you, I think Logan Paul's taking the pin.
You think so?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
I
it
do.
makes the most sense. Logan Paul or I hate to say it, Drew.
Yeah, if the heels win, Jimmy is getting pinned. Jay
Or
is
Jay.
getting pinned. Actually, I could see anybody getting pinned except for Punk and Cody.
You can see Roman taking the pin,
I could see Roman taking the pin.
only if it's from Lesnar.
No, because they do not want to set up another one of those matches. No, Roman taking the pin from Braun Breaker.
Oh yeah, no, that actually does make sense since Bronson's already pinned him.
Yeah, Roman taking the pin from Braun Breaker makes a lot of sense. I could see that happening if the heels win. But if the faces win, yeah, I think Logan Paul takes the pin.
I think Logan Paul is probably the most likely, and then Drew.
Yeah.
Because with them pushing the vision the way they are, I don't see either of them. And there's no world where Brock takes that pin.
No, no, Brock is not eating that pin.
Honestly, I could see Brock getting to the point where he's pissed off with whatever's going on that he rips the cage door off and just leaves.
Mm. Yeah, I can see that too.
And then
So
for the women, so here's a question. Which way are you leaning for the women's one? I know we're leaning towards the faces and the men. I think the heels need to win the women's one.
I don't think it does anything for the faces to win, but having AJ Lee on that team makes me wonder. Like,
Yeah.
should they win because AJ Lee is on that team and you don't want her to lose?
Yeah. It definitely makes it for a interesting potential that it could go through.
It's going to be a very, I feel like it's going to be a very face heavy show because John Cena is probably going to lose.
You think he's going to drop the title already?
Yeah, I do. They're not going to put it back on Gunther.
I think that that's the right call is to have him drop it, and I hope that that's the route they go. I'm very curious to see with this being a stadium show and being one of the bigger shows, especially with Rumble out of the country, if this is bigger than your normal PLE, if we get more matches on it than normal.
Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say where they're going to go with that, but yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see. I would assume that SmackDown's going to have to add another match of some kind as well. Like maybe Jade will defend the title, or I
Maybe we'll
mean,
get an open challenge.
maybe we'll get an open challenge and a surprise return. You know, maybe that's where you get Joe Hendry versus Ilya Dragunov. That could
Yeah,
be fun.
and that's an okay match to lose.
Hmm. Yeah, that could be fun.
Give me Javon Evans. All the Javon Evans, Mr. Bouncy. That kid is a future world champion.
Maybe
I think he is.
he's definitely a future mid card champion.
I think he has all the tools to make it all the way. If we'll see if they do it right, but I think he has the potential to be all go the distance.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you're right. I like the kid a lot. He's a great wrestler. He's got a good look.
Great
I just don't,
personality.
I just don't know if he is big enough to be a WWE champion yet. They don't seem to put the championship on like a lot of little guys. So I don't know if they would do that or not. That's why so
No,
many little guys have left, but you never know.
Punk's a littler guy.
Yeah, but he's CM Punk.
Yeah, valid point.
So I don't know. I mean, your champions are typically, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Cody Rhodes, big guys like that, right?
Yeah,
So I don't know. I don't even think Cody's that big, but Cody's big enough.
Yeah, for sure.
So. So anyway, that was Monday Night Raw, and there was a lot. That was a stacked episode of Monday Night Raw, which I very much enjoyed. It was a solid show. I love seeing Ziggler come back, and I was very pleased overall with the whole thing. What's your final rating for the show?
I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. It was above average just because there was so much going on. It's tough to go up to a 4 for me. You have to have a damn near perfect show to do that. But I can give them a 3.5.
Yeah, I would say I think the show was good. Like I said, I loved Ziggler coming back. I loved Maxine winning. The women's thing was a bit too much. Probably didn't need that there, but having all those guys come out at the end really is going to make War Games a fun, fun match. Like
Yep.
it's going to be really cool to see all of those mega stars and Logan Paul in a
Yep.
match at War Games. So I would say my final rating for the show is a throw everything at the wall and see what sticks out of 5. So that is our show. Thank you guys so much for joining us. As always, let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. We do read and respond to every single one of them. And hit us up with what you think is going to happen for War Games. Do you think they're going to add any additional matches? Do you think that our predictions make sense right now, where we think the face teams will likely win those matches? But I guess we'll have to wait and see. So thank you guys again so much for joining us. Have yourselves a fantastic evening and take care.